Hello and welcome to Miniature Adventures. I'm Big Lee, and this week I want to ask, does anyone still strip metal models? You know, I can't remember the last time I actually stripped a metal miniature. There was a time when it was practically a rite of passage in the hobby. Everyone had their own secret recipe, their own favourite brand of cleaner, their own weird rituals involving toothbrushes, gloves and a container of something that probably wasn't safe to inhale. But I'm not sure anyone really does it anymore. We'd come home from a bring and buy fair, bags full of battered old miniatures, and the first stop was always the sink. Strip them down to the bare metal, we'd say. Give them a new life, a new coat of paint, a second chance. It's funny how quickly the culture of the hobby changes. I've talked about it a lot recently. There used to be this strong sense of thrift among wargamers. You'd buy second-hand figures because new ones were expensive, or because that particular range had been out of production since, forever. Or simply because you liked the idea of rescuing something old. A lot of us came into the hobby on a tight budget, so we got used to reusing, recycling and repurposing. And part of that culture was the joy, if you can call it that, of stripping miniatures. You'd fill a jar with Dettol or Pine Sol or Simple Green, chuck in a handful of crusty lead infantry and let the alchemy begin. The next morning you'd fish them out with tweezers, scrub like mad with an old toothbrush and feel a kind of satisfaction you just don't get from opening a new blister pack. It was like archaeological restoration for wargamers, uncovering lost detail, erasing someone else's mistakes and making something of your own. So why don't we do it as much now? Well, I think there are a few reasons, and some of them are actually positives. First off, metal miniature models themselves are no longer the norm in the hobby. The industry has shifted so much over the last 2 decades that most new miniature ranges are resin or plastic. Games Workshop made the full switch to plastic and resin years ago, and even smaller historical manufacturers increasingly use hard plastic or cast resin for cost and convenience. If you're mainly collecting new kits, you don't encounter metal as much as you used to, and if you do, it's probably in smaller scales like 6mm or 10mm, where the effort of stripping them might not feel worth it. And second, as I alluded to a while ago, the hobby itself has changed. We live in an era of starter sets, instant gratification and a lot of availability. If you want a unit of something, chances are you can buy it for a reasonable price second hand, or straight from the manufacturer, or through one of many other retailers. It's not like the old days when a lot of beloved ranges were out of stock and your only hopes of finding that missing Napoleonic drummer was rummaging through a box of unloved castings at a convention. Back then you stripped because it was the only way to get the model you wanted. Now you can just buy new or go online and find somebody selling it. There's also the time factor. Stripping models is a slow process. It's messy, it smells, it takes up space. In a hobby where we're already short on painting time, the idea of spending 2 or 3 days soaking and scrubbing before you even pick up a brush feels, well, a bit mad. A lot of people would rather prime straight over an old paint job, or just retire the miniature and move on to something new. And honestly, with how good modern paints and primers are, that's not a terrible choice. You can sometimes get away with painting over older work, especially if it's thinly applied. Modern hobbyists also have better tools, airbrushes and primers that cling to almost anything. The barrier between old and crusty and ready to repaint is much lower than it used to be. But I don't think it's just about practicality. I think it's also a mindset thing. When I started in the hobby, and I suspect this is true for a lot of you watching, miniatures were precious. You didn't throw them away, you didn't leave them in a box forgotten. You stripped them, cleaned them, rebased them and repainted them, because each one was an investment of both money and sentiment. Nowadays the relationship between gamers and their miniatures feels, well, a little more disposable, not in a bad way, just different. We churn through periods faster. A game catches our attention, we paint an army, play it a few times and move on to the next thing. The idea of going back and redoing old work isn't as common because we're always looking forward and not backwards. And if we're honest, social media also plays a role. 20 years ago you might have been proud to show off a before and after of a stripped and restored miniature. Today, with Instagram feeds full of pristine new sculpts and display quality paint jobs, there's not much appetite for showing off old lumps of lead covered in grey gunk. We curate our hobby images more, and the messy chemical side of it doesn't really fit that aesthetic. I mean, that being said, stripping still has its die-hard supporters, and interestingly, they're often the same folks who are into old hammer and classic ranges. For them, the joy isn't just the game, but in the preservation. Stripping is a form of restoration. It's about rescuing a piece of miniature history. If you've ever watched a YouTuber like Midwinter Minis or Goobertown Hobbies taking a battered old figure and bringing it back to life, you'll know how satisfying that process can be. It's the hobby equivalent of barn finds. Digging up an old Citadel Paladin or Grenadier Wizard covered in 3 layers of enamel and carefully revealing the sculpt beneath. In fact, if you check the forums like Lead Adventure or the Old Hammer Facebook groups, stripping is still alive and well. It's just become a bit more of a niche activity rather than a mainstream one. The people who do it now tend to be collectors or restoration hobbyists rather than gamers trying to field another platoon. They'll talk about which solvents are the best for 1980s pewter versus old white metal, or share photos of a figure mid-soak like proud parents. And I have to say, there's something wonderful about that, because when you strip an old miniature, you're not just saving a lump of metal, you're preserving a little bit of the hobby's history. Those figures were sculpted by hand, often by people whose names are now half forgotten. The details might be softer, the poses may be a little bit clumsy, but they've got character. And seeing them gleam again, freshly polished and ready for a new coat of paint, is a reminder that our hobby has roots. I also think it's a bit of an antidote to the fast-paced side of wargaming, that side that says you have to be constantly buying new kits, chasing the latest rules and upgrading your collection every few months. Stripping an old figure is slow, mindful work. It's you saying, no, I'm not going to buy something new, I'm going to breathe new life into something old. There's a kind of quiet satisfaction in that, a sense of continuity with all the wargamers who've come before us. That being said, I do get why most people don't bother anymore. The materials have changed, the availability has changed, and even our expectations have changed. When metal was the standard, you could dunk it in almost anything and it would come out fine. Try that with a resin model and you'll end up with a puddle of regret. Stripping plastic or resin is riskier, less cost effective, which probably discourages people from even attempting it in the first place. There's also the small matter of health and safety. A lot of the classic methods, oven cleaner, brake fluid, acetone, aren't exactly friendly on the lungs or the environment. Hobbyists today are more conscious of that. You can still do it safely, of course, but the days of casually pouring Dettol into a coffee mug in the kitchen are thankfully behind us. So maybe that's another reason it's faded. It doesn't quite fit with the modern image of the hobby. Today we like clean desks, daylight lamps and neat storage solutions. Stripping is messy, chaotic and chemical. It's a bit of a throwback, like watching black and white TV or winding film into a camera. There's charm to it, but it's not for everyone. That being said, I do think there's room for a revival. I'd love to see more people rediscover the joy of restoration, not just for nostalgia's sake, but because it teaches patience. It connects you to the miniature in a different way. When you strip and repaint an old figure, you're layering into your own story on top of someone else's. There's something almost poetic about that. The idea that these little warriors have seen several lifetimes of paint and battlefields, and you're just the latest caretaker. I do sometimes wonder how many of us have forgotten that feeling, the excitement of seeing bare metal again after a long soak, the satisfaction of scrubbing away the last flakes of ancient enamel, and the anticipation of priming it fresh. It's a bit like taking an old model car or a piece of furniture and restoring it. You're not just cleaning, you're rediscovering. Now, I discussed this topic with a few of my friends during our weekly paint and chat session online. 2 said they still strip models to give them a new life. 1 hadn't stripped a model in years, and 2 more said they'd never done it and couldn't see the point. So what about you? Have you ever restored an old miniature by removing the paint and starting again? And if you do, and if so, do you still do it? Or maybe you've never stripped a model in your life and are currently thinking, what madness is this? As always, I would love to hear what you think in the comments below. As for me, well, maybe it's time I did it again. I've got a few old figures sitting in a box somewhere, covered in thick paint, gloss varnish with bases that look like they were made from concrete. Maybe it's time to give them the spa treatment, a long soak, a gentle scrub and a fresh start. Because at the end of the day, stripping miniatures isn't just about cleaning models, it's about rediscovering part of what makes this hobby so special. The idea that nothing's ever truly wasted. Every miniature, no matter how battered or badly painted, can be reborn. So that's it for this week. As always, please join the conversation in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe and share, and maybe consider becoming a member. And of course, if you want to keep up to date with weekly content from the channel, please tap the bell notification icon. So until next week, stay safe, keep gaming, and of course, keep rolling high.